You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 4th day of September 2018. How about a wild and crazy post-holiday roller coaster ride? Hope you had a great Labor Day. Hope you spent some quality time with the family. I know you've had a lot of excitement thrown at you this morning by the markets. We'll get into all that. Amazon, of course, hitting $1 trillion in value today. How about that? Go Jeff. I remember when it was just a little online bookstore. And people said, it'll never fly. Well, I guess Jeff and I, we don't agree on much. But we both agree that he's built one heck of a company. Yeah, that's about it. So anyway, glad to have you with us. If you're returning, welcome back. Maybe you're here for the very first time. A super special welcome to you. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for joining. Now up on the screen I have a chart of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. If you can't see the chart and you would like to see the chart and all the charts that we show on the show today, go to our homepage, cfrn.net. On the right hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You will be registered all the way through the end of September. You only have to register once per month, and that gives you one-click access each and every day. While you're out clicking, click over to youtube.com/cfrn/live. Bookmark that page. You'll always have one-click access if and when you need it. A little bit of news, little bit of news to throw at you on this fine Monday. Let's start with 21,000 new locations across Canada, Europe, Australia to purchase Bitcoin Cash. Adding BCH brings us to having 6 of the top 7 coins available via Netcoins, with just EOS left among the top 7. We are giving investors a compelling reason to use the Netcoins network for all their crypto needs, whether via OTC or via our strong retail network. That from CEO Mark Benz over at Netcoins. Now, Netcoins has been around for about 3 years out of Vancouver, Canada. It initiated its virtual ATM business in 2015. Merchants from all over the world can sign up for the Netcoins service and be provided with a platform that allows them to have a Bitcoin ATM, you ready for this, without having to buy a machine. The application can work on a smartphone or tablet, allowing merchants to offer the sale of Bitcoin without the substantial cost involved with the purchase of a device or the physical space needed within the store. Now for BCH, it's another adoption score, one in a string this year. Netcoins services 21,000 retail locations throughout Canada, Europe, and Australia. In its announcement, the company promised immediate access to purchase BCH through its OTC private brokerage service. Well, 21,000. I understand it's just a smartphone or an iPad, but it's in the hands of a retailer who is accepting crypto for payment of services and products, and also the sale itself of BCH. It's a bigger deal than it sounds. Cryptocurrency wallet and debit card Wirex has been keeping busy also. Fresh off the back of receiving its UK e-money license, the London-based company has added Ethereum support. Wirex users who could previously convert BTC, LTC, and XRP into their national currency and spend it at will on their plastic or virtual card can do the same with ETH as of today. As the second highest value cryptocurrency after Bitcoin by market cap, the ETH wallet's place on the Wirex app is indisputably deserved. We're pleased that we can now offer this popular crypto, but our product growth does not stop here. We have some interesting new services in the pipeline, and our recently earned FCA e-money license has opened the doors for even more products and locations in the near future. Now, remember, not so very long ago, there was trouble in Greece. Remember when they closed the banks? The only way people could get their own money, I'm doing air quotes here, because once you hand it to a bank, it's no longer your money, but for the sake of arguing or not, remember there were a lot of older people who had not adapted to the bank cards. They've been using cash all their life, put cash in the bank, go into the bank, get some cash out. They just never adopted the card thing. Some of those people potentially could have gone hungry, and maybe some did, were it not for their younger relatives and friends who had debit cards. This is a true story. So in a country where ATM adoption is still slow to grow among the older folk, we're bringing more Bitcoin ATMs to Greece. Now, we already talked about Netcoins equipping 21,000 of its ATMs with Bitcoin Cash compatibility. The story can now be augmented by the news that Greece is set to increase its quota of cryptocurrency ATMs. Coming soon to a convenience store near you. London-based exchange Crypto Facilities announced Friday the launch of Perpetual Futures. Perpetual Futures, you never heard that before. On 6 trading pairs. Its platform specializes in cryptocurrency futures trading, currently supporting BTC, ETH, XRP, LTC, and BCH. The company is registered with the UK's Financial Conduct Authority. Traders on the exchange can go long and short with 50 times leverage and can use Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, XRP, and Bitcoin Cash as collateral to trade 24/7. Now, I know you're wondering when LOGIC247 is going to branch off into the crypto world. 247, 24/7. Just sit tight. Now, the contract size is $1 US for all trading pairs except XRP and XBT, which is 1 XRP. 2 days after launch on September 2nd, Crypto Facilities tweeted, "Our XBT USD perpetual contract now making up the majority of the traded volume on Bitcoin dollar futures on the platform." Earlier this year, Crypto Facilities partnered with the CME Group to provide crypto pricing data to financial institutions, trading firms, and data vendors globally. So, what is a perpetual future, you ask? Perpetual futures are non-expiring, which means that positions in the contract are never expired or matured. Like right now, the ES, we're trading the ESU8. Pretty soon, we'll be switching to the December contract, ESZ8, rollover day, as it's called. No rollover with perpetual futures. It's one contract, and it just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. Weekly, monthly, and quarterly fixed maturity contracts and the same 6 trading pairs are also offered on the Crypto Facilities trading platform. They expire at 4 p.m. London time every Friday. Well, there's a bit of news. Let's take a look at the numbers around the world and just see where we do stand. These are cash markets. We'll get to the futures in a moment. The Dow currently down 103 points. NASDAQ down 41, S&P 500 down 11, and the Russell 2000 down 17. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 26 cents, trading 70.08 last. Gold down $9.20, trading 11.9750 last. In the Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei down a little over 10 points. Shanghai was positive by 29 points. The Hang Seng added 260 points on the session, and that's almost 1%. Last but not least, in the European markets, the FTSE closed down 0.5% or 46 points. The DAX was down 136 points. And the CAC lost 71. And so, mixed day in Asia, red day in Europe, and so far a red day here at home. And we'll see what comes next. I'll be back in just a bit. Michael is waiting in the wings to pop in and deliver a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today.
We had a red day today as well. Just a little bit, but
Uh-oh.
not a lot of opportunity today.
You hate it when that happens.
Yeah, the first day of the month especially. But
yeah. Yep.
it happens.
It does. And that's the truth about trading. So they tell me.
That's what they say.
Alright, let me grab the charts and drag them up so all the world can see. Oh, come on now. Whoa. They're not budging. Let me try that again. Let's try it again. I don't think it's anything more serious than my... Whoa. Now I'm seeing your charts and I'm seeing the web page. Oh, I see. Operator error. I was trying to move your browser page instead of the whole shebang.
No, you can't do that.
No, it requires the whole shebang.
Yes.
How was your holiday?
It was good.
Well, that's
It was
nice.
good. All things considered. How about you?
Yeah. As Jake adapted to the country life.
He had the neighbor's son slept over Saturday night.
Oh,
So
well, that's cool.
So he's made friends, and he finds out today if he made the soccer team. I haven't heard from him yet. I'm kind of anxious about it because they cut him last week by accident.
I was going to say, I thought one of the other players cut him. Pretty bad.
They cut him.
How many
They
stitches?
cut him last week by accident. There was another kid named Jacob York, and Jake is just Jake, but it's Jake Bork. And the coach kept calling him the wrong name the whole time. And so when he cut him, he meant to cut the other kid. He didn't mean to cut Jake. And so the neighbor's son sent an email, who made the team last year, sent an email to the coach explaining the difference. And Jake had a great practice on Thursday and Friday. And, tryout on Thursday and Friday. And Alex said he thought he had a great practice Thursday and Friday, but I haven't heard from Jake yet. And Alex's mom has heard from him.
So we're dealing with a case of mistaken identity here.
Yeah, that's what it was to begin with. And I don't know. I'll find out. If he texts me whenever he gets a chance to text me. Because Alex had left his Chromebook at home, and so he was able to text his mom to get his Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake's not supposed to text me. He's not supposed to have his phone on or on him when he's at school. So,
have you ever handled one of these Chromebooks?
I looked at Jake's, but I haven't done anything with it. I don't even know if he has.
Well, I got to tell you, it's. I think it's coming into its own. I think the internet has matured, and with everything in the cloud now. I mean, if you have a Chromebook, you never have to worry about viruses or security. You don't have to, all the stuff you normally have to do. Google has just quietly, one little bit at a time. And the Google Docs, some people think it's a word processor. Some people think it's a spreadsheet like Excel. It has so many features under the hood. I think most people aren't even aware. I kind of studied up a little bit on it this weekend. So, yeah, there's a lot going on.
The spreadsheet is just like Excel. It's
So the Chromebook these days, now can you get a data plan, or do you have to be on Wi-Fi?
I think it's got to be on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
The stuff that what they told me in the quick review is, all the stuff you need is on there, so you don't need Wi-Fi. But if you want to turn stuff in, you got to be on Wi-Fi to turn stuff in.
Well, yeah, because you can't actually save anything to the machine.
Yeah, I think what it is I'm not sure, Dwayne, but
Yeah,
I think
that's my understanding anyway. But
they do the work on the machine.
Yeah.
And then they submit it.
I got you.
So they have to have Wi-Fi to submit it. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen Jake do any homework yet.
Okay.
His school, he says, and Alex confirms that they don't like to give a lot of homework at the school, because then it's just a hassle trying to get the kids to do it.
Yeah, it gets in the way of football practice, Friday nights, all that stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, and they have every sport you can think of. They have.
You're in the heart of Friday Night Lights country.
Yeah.
Football's a big thing. I'm surprised they even have soccer.
Oh, they have soccer, they have wrestling, and this is 8th grade. They have soccer and wrestling and lacrosse and
lacrosse?
All those things. Yeah.
They got lacrosse in a public school?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But it's the #2 public school in the state. So, and there's 652 kids in 7th and 8th grade.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. That is a lot. Jake coming from a class of, about 20, and Macy being in a class of 14. Yeah, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids. And a lot of kids to have to compete against when you're going out for sports.
I'm going to say something you haven't heard in a long time. Yikes, strikes, beech nut gum. All right, let me get out of here and let you do your thing. And,
all right.
Then I'll come back.
Okay. All right.
Well, at least
I'm ready to go.
That's the plan. Okay.
That is the plan. All right. Before I get started, Sam, were you able to do the download from Daniel's Trading, the DT Pro download? You can just type in a Y or an N. Let me see if there's anybody else in here who has any outstanding questions for me that I have not answered. Alan, I made sure you were on the list. Okay. I verified that you were on the list. All right. I'm going to get going now. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 4th day of September, 2018. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage here at cfrn.net. And right over here on the right-hand side, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, or if you click on any one of these other free 5-day things, use our proprietary indicators, free, any one of these other things, if you click on any of them, then you will eventually be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, you do not get the free trial. All right, you must click that link. Okay, spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. We had a red day today. Sadly, we did not have a lot of opportunity. I did miss a few trades that would have given us the goal for the day. But, I mean, I missed them. That's all there is to it. As I said, today is the 4th day of September, 2018. We made two ticks in crude. We stopped out right toward the end of the room. We stopped out on a gold trade, -8 ticks. And we were plus 12.5. Not ticks, dollars. We're plus 1 tick on the ES. Okay, today we took 6 opportunities in the room. And on the month now, we're -47.50. That's over 1 day, averaging -47.50 per day. Okay, on the year now, we're at 23,353. That's over 161 days, averaging positive $145 per day. Okay, this is how we ended last month, plus 2,300 over 22 days, averaging $104 per day. And you know how you guys always say, oh, well, the commissions are just going to eat up all your profits, blah, blah, blah. Last month, if you would have stopped once you got your goal for the day, with an $8 commission, your net profit would have been $1,573. With a $5 commission, your net profit would have been $1,831. If you kept going like I did, then your net profit would have been $1,086 with an $8 commission, or your net profit would have been $1,542 with a $5 commission. So keeping going last month didn't work out for me. Okay, that's why we say, once you get your goal for the day, you put that mouse away. Go on and do other things, and don't even think about it. Come back the next day, fresh mind, fresh attitude. No, not fresh attitude, good attitude. And do it all over again. Okay, so getting into the stuff that happened this morning. We missed this first one right here on gold, right there. That was enough to give us a goal for the day, but we didn't get filled. We missed this one right here. Didn't get filled. Then it got really choppy. It broke out of the chop, and we took a long right here. And this trade lasted, I don't know, it seemed like it lasted a half hour. Did it last an actual half hour? Almost 20 minutes. Lasted 20 minutes before it finally stopped us out. And since then, it's done nothing. Gold has done nothing. I have found that gold lately, after that first half hour, gold has just been a mess. You know, in the pre-market, look at this huge leg down here in the pre-market. Then it pulled back, gave a nice short right here for that leg down. But just a mess. Okay, the euro. The euro, let's see. We missed this short right here on the euro. Okay, then we went sideways. We missed that long. Then we had a break even right there. During the break, it looks like there was that even during the break? It was during the break. This would have been a break even momentum long trade right here. Would have been a break even trade. And that was it. Nothing else. Okay, in the crude oil, let's see, in the pre-market, crude had some nice movement right here in the pre-market. Okay, then we had a break even there. We had a +1 there, a +1 there. So we're +2 on the crude. Yeah, we had all this movement here right at the end of the session where we couldn't do anything. You know, there would have been a long right there, a long right there, a long right there, a long right there. Easily gotten the goal for the day in that strand right there. And then on the other side, you could have shorted right there and gotten the goal for the day. Could have shorted right here, gotten the goal for the day. All that happened during the break. On the ES, we just had this one opportunity right here. It was a bounce off the BBC, also a momentum trade. We got 1 tick profit on that. 1 tick profit. And then it went down to the zone, consolidated, and dropped through the zone. Once it dropped through the zone and broke this dynamic support, this was all during the break. It had a shorting opportunity right there for that leg down. And that was it. Okay, and that was it. So, yeah, bring this back up. All right. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at cfrn.net. And right over here on the right-hand side, it says apply.cfrn.net. Click on that. Or you can click on this. Or you can click on this. Either way, click on that stuff. And you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us, and then hit the submit button. Once you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link, and click on that link, and then we know you took the free trial. We don't know you took the trial until you click that link, so you got to make sure you click it, okay? Got to make sure you click that link. All right. And that, my friends, is the end of my recap. So with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
I am.
Excellent. Good timing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Recap of the recap. I got another question, but I figured I asked you that first.
Okay. Well, we didn't get our goal for the day. We took 6 trades, and we didn't get our goal.
Truth about trading.
We were minus $47.50 this morning.
Do you know what a trader's most important job is? It's a loaded question. You don't know the answer, so just
Okay.
say,
No, then. I'll say no.
Yeah, don't wrestle around. I won't make you say uncle. The most important job a trader has is finding high probability, low risk trade setups. Would you agree?
I do agree.
Now, would you agree that just even in just the live training room, we'll isolate it to that. Would you say that you spend 80% of your time every day for 2 hours? You spend 80% of that 2 hours looking for the next high probability, low risk trade setup.
I spend, if I'm not responding to other stuff, then all my time is spent looking for the next low risk trade
Well,
setup.
sometimes you're actually in a trade, a little tiny sliver at a time, you know.
Yeah.
But even on a busy day, maybe when you take like, I don't know, 7 or 8 trades during those 2 hours, would you still agree that at least 80% of the time is looking versus 20% trading?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Might be more than
Those
that.
are the figures I'm working off of, and I'm trying to actually be conservative with them. So if a trader is making whatever a trader is making, maybe he's making 100 a day, 500 a day, $1,000 a day, but they're only trading whatever screen time they have available, working hours as they call them. Only 20% of their time is spent trading. The other 80%, they're on the hunt, looking.
Stalking, as Mike Reed would say.
Yeah, kind of like this guy. Can you see that guy?
I can see him.
I love that guy. Now, you might have heard also that time is money. You ever heard that?
I have indeed heard that.
Well, you may also have heard that that time itself is precious, short, scarce, won't wait, gets away, runs out. Is different. Yeah, this time. You ever heard any of those?
Well, yeah, I've heard
you
most of those.
Of course
But,
you have.
yeah.
You grew up with them. We all say them. We've all
Yes.
heard them. It's a part of our life. So if time is money and scarce and precious and all those things, then why do we as traders waste 80% of our day looking for trades when we could just be trading? Imagine whatever you make, 100 a day, 500 a day, 1,000 a day. Now that's trading just 20% of the day. What if you could actually trade, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% of the day? Do you think that could potentially double a person's income, or I don't know, maybe triple it? I can't say for sure. I don't know. I'm not that person. But if you're looking less and trading more, it should increase the bottom line, don't you think?
As long as you're doing it well.
Well, yeah. So, LOGIC247, where opportunity finds you. So come on down off the ladder, put the binoculars away, and get over to eminitrading.com. That's singular, not plural. eminitrading.com. And check out what I'm talking about. Hit me up for a link to the Telegram beta test. You can go in there, walk the aisles, look at all the alerts that went out during that 3-week beta test. You can come into the public discussion group, ask questions, learn more. You can book a mentoring session. I can explain things to you. and you can see exactly how everything comes together. So send us an email, support@cfrn.net, or just go on over to eminitrading.com, and there's a link on that page that will take you right into the beta test. 3 weeks, trades every day, and you'll see what it's all about. It is a paradigm shift in how traders will do business in the future. Now, of course, your hoity-toity, your fancy pants traders, they've always had, you know, a staff with analysts and researchers and all that kind of stuff. But retail traders, in that regard, were simply left out in the cold and told, you got to do the legwork yourself, man. 80% of your day. So see, the big shot trader, the fancy pants, the hoity-toity guy, he can afford that staff and have them always on the lookout. So if you agree that it's time you stop looking and start trading, call Michael at 949-423-6464. He'll help you get signed up for a mentoring session or whatever it is that you need, whatever questions that you have. He'll get them to me. If he doesn't have the answer, he'll get it to me, and I'll meet with you in a go-to meeting room for 5, 10, 15 minutes, or we can speak by phone, so that we can totally bring you up to speed on everything that is currently happening. And we're not throwing any ticker tape parades or any stuff like that, but we are pleasantly pleased with all that has transpired in the last, we're now entering week 4 post beta. So 3-week beta test, and this week is week number 4. So time flies, does it not?
It does indeed.
Now,
it does fly.
I compiled some numbers, I think Friday morning, so they're not accurate to a T, but last week, and a couple alerts came out after I compiled these numbers, there were 95 alerts total, including the carryovers from the previous week. 15 of those became no triggers, leaving us with 80 actionable alerts. 13 of those alerts made it to the first target, or if there was only one target, it made it at least 60% of the way. 42 completed all targets, whether there was 1 target, 2 targets, 3 targets, 4. 42 of the alerts made it all the way to the final target. 17 were stopped out because that's the truth about trading. 1 canceled, 1 voided, and when I wrote this, 6 still open at the moment. So, to everyone who is a member, everyone who's participating, everyone who helped out with the beta test, we're forever indebted, and we're going to continue to take very good care of you, the very best care we possibly can, because it's pretty exciting. So, has John shown up?
Let me go take a look. If you know John is not there.
Now,
yet.
I did send him an email. I think we missed him 2 days in a row, did we not?
Did we miss him on Friday? He wasn't feeling well last week.
Well, I think Thursday and Friday we missed him. I do believe. Now, this high energy move to the downside and this slight recovery, any idea what brought that on?
No.
There was no rumor of news? Was it because Amazon hit $1 trillion? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I haven't seen them blame it on anything as of yet. Oh, you're welcome, Alan. My pleasure. And I'm going to get you on a list so you don't have to ask every week.
I I checked on that already. It's all set.
He is on the list already? I thought I put him on the list already. So then he has an email problem. Okay. And you told him how to sort that out?
Yeah, he should be all set tomorrow.
Okay.
I would think.
All right.
Or next week, sorry.
We last were here. This was the close on Friday. This was the final candle. Yes? No? That's last night's Globex Open. Right there. Well, Sunday night's Globex Open. September the 2nd. Yesterday was the 3rd, the holiday, and we actually had an alert on the holiday on the S&P that ran right up to its target at 29.12. We had some that didn't fare so well. Important prices in important areas are almost always tested. So that move, let me see, what was that S&P move? It's right about here. Consider buying the ESU8 2909 to 2912. Now that came out Sunday for the Monday session, which was a holiday, but nonetheless it still managed to go from 2909 to 2912, and then you'll see it did it again. Even if I don't send it back out as an alert, always keep in mind, guys, that important prices, important areas, almost always tested. And the swing high 2912 to the tick. I think we ticked over it right here. Yep. And as we're going into the close Friday, we had an NQ alert that landed at the closing bell. It was right on the nose, on the money, as they say. So let me pull up the Concierge trade alerts. Now I sent them out Sunday night, even though I know most of you were smart enough to just take the holiday, relax, enjoy yourself, spend time with family. But because there's a few of you that I knew wanted to work, I sent them out. And we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the ones from last night. And then if you have any questions about the ones from Sunday night, put them in the chat box. Now I just gotta find my little guy. There we go. Okay, on the S&P 500 Emini Futures, last night we said to consider buying 2908, and that looks a little something like this, 2908, and we ran up to 2912, so that's 4 S&P points. Is that right? Yeah, 2908 up to 2912. Hey, are you doing your Tuesday webinar today?
I'm not, because I'm not sure about picking Jacob and what time I gotta do that. John is out there. He's
is he? Okay, I thought
asking for the, well, he's asking for the link. Let me just send him the link.
Oh, that's because, you know what? You have to.
It's a new month.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, John.
I'll send him the link.
Yeah, on the first day of a new month, the link to the radio show is on the website, but I'll try to start remembering to send it to you.
He didn't hear any of that.
Oh, huh.
I just sent it to him, so he's not in yet. But he did send us an email, and I just responded to it.
Now, we hedged our long trade, a little something I like to call a short trade. To get the opportunity, the email last night said to consider selling 2,900. and that opportunity was here. Dropped to 28.91.75, so that's about, we'll call it 8 to be conservative. Now there's a pretty good pullback, which means you may not have got this. If you did, good for you. But because important prices in important areas are almost always tested, it came down again from 2,900 and put in a low at 28.85.50. So we'll call it 28.86, and I believe that would be about 14. Michael, is that correct?
50 to 46 would be 60.
Really?
Oh, I'm sorry. I went the wrong way.
You're supposed to carry the 1, man.
I know, I forgot to carry the 1.
Okay.
50 to 46 would only be 4.
Okay.
But 60 to 46 would be 14.
Now, I have had some people say, believe it or not, you said to buy 29.08. Yes, we did. That was in the email. Consider it. You know. And they said, but you also said to sell 2,900. Yes, we did. Well, you can't do both. Well, we have years of documented research that says you actually can. We don't fall in love with a direction or a market. That was a real problem with stocks. You kind of romanticize these companies because you want them to do well and make you fat. But with futures, you gotta stay nimble.
Nimble and quick. Candlestick.
John, Michael sent you the link.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he just sent it to you, so we'll be waiting for you. Did you email it to him, Michael?
I did. I emailed it to him. I replied to his last email to us.
He replied to your last email, so it shouldn't have gone to anywhere but your inbox. This is raw radio, folks. Nothing carefully scripted here. Find it? Can you fire it off again, Michael?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, he's gonna fire it off to you again. Okay. So the truth of the matter is, we don't want to fight with the market. We want to flow with the market. So if the market is rallying, trying to get up to a weekly trading zone, we'll go with it, no problem. And then once it gets to its destination, remember, zones are an area, well, it's pretty close. Once it gets to its destination, if it decides it wants to go the other way and try to find that zone below, now these are last week's zones, but I always tell you to write them down on Thursday when I put them up. What did it do? It went from zone to zone. In fact, we can drop back to last week. On Friday, we went from zone to zone, tested the zone again, to the zone. And then we made a valiant effort to trade to the zone below, but we haven't done it yet. But we may not be finished. Now this wick right here made it look like the market had found a bottom and wanted to turn around, but it was just trying to get back above the trigger so we could do it all over again. How about that?
How about
moving on to the Dow? Whoa, it's a wild and crazy Dow. Okay, all right. So you said you got to go pick. Oh, so anyway, see, look at this.
Yeah, in a little while.
Zone.
I still have some
the
time.
zone. The zone. The zone. Welcome to the zones. All right. Last night's email said to consider selling 25 955. 25, 955. Okay, and this first swing low was 869. We'll call it 870. What do we got? 80 points, give or take.
Give or take.
80 Dow points on the first move, and that would be the only move because it didn't go far enough back to trigger again. Now on a trade like this, this is where I show you guys that one way of trailing, there are many, trailing your stop loss would be to, if you're trading the L2, you have a target, but sometimes that target might not be all the market has to offer. You see right there was our exit signal. Okay.
Okay. I just opened John's mic.
John, welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us. I think we missed.
Thanks. Guess what? It did go into the spam box, that thing.
Did it? Okay.
But I had to go out in and out of my mail. It kind of got jammed up for some reason. So
it's been, what have it been? A couple days since we spoke to you?
Yeah. Sorry I missed Friday.
You're doing okay?
Yeah, a little bit better today, thanks. You know, there's a few things been going on over the weekend. You know, we had a very dramatic late finish on Friday, rebound, basically towards up towards new highs, and the Sunday night came in, sold off, rallied late in the early hours of the morning up to a sort of a closing high, and it just came off a bit on the close. Came back down last night and tested, then it rallied up, and then it fell over. And Asia initially had a kind of a rout, and then it had a rebound, and it's coming off again, just along with the markets. So the Asian situation is not as good as it was looking last week. You know, the Chinese markets, even though they had a pretty good rally, really haven't gone anywhere. Just look, we've had a good rebound off the new lows about middle of August, and we've pulled back to a point where we have to hold here, and we really have to hold the lows that we put in a short while ago on the markets as well, because I think if we break down any further today, it's not going to be good. Not regardless, I think we're within a few days of some sort of a top here, if not even today. The way now, normally, you know, listen, we had a record month, or almost a record month up in August, and it's normal for the first day of the month to test a little bit down in that month. That's actually a good thing. And given it's such a huge month, I'd say the odds of continuation are fairly high. So this could be a great buying opportunity here if we continue higher. And Amazon hit a new all-time high this morning, hit $1 trillion market.
$1 trillion, yeah.
Right. So, you know, we actually sold it at 2050, bought it back at 2030. 35, I think, and 39, something like that, for a bit of a trade. And then, but I think it's, you know, this 2,500 is such a high number in terms of a target that it's a little bit like 2000. You may remember, I think it was the guy who runs Business Insider now, Blodgett, who came out with his famous $400 price target for Amazon back then, and I'm not sure if we made it or not, but that was basically the top back in 2000. So, you know, as you know, we were probably the leader, one of the leading bulls on Amazon with a 2300, 2250, 2300 target, and we've been swamped by Morgan Stanley now. And however, this morning there was some downgrades on Facebook, and I think Google is suffering a bit. You know, they've got to testify in the next few days. So I think the Facebook, Google, Twitter are probably going to be a bit volatile here in the next few days, probably with a downside bias. And Facebook looks terrible, you know, on the chart. So I was kind of thinking it was going to go down last week, just the way it was acting. And it didn't get slaughtered this morning, just went down about $7 or something like that, and started finding some sort of support. Could actually be a possible bottom for Facebook here. Seems to have put in a better potential base. And, you know, I think that I just think you've got to be open-minded to the possibility of higher prices even into the first week, maybe into the employment report. And then we got the Fed, I think, the following week, so or sometime this month. So those are key things that could affect the market. One thing that is a little bit different today is, for the first time in quite a while, the bonds are breaking back down, hit about 140, well, they're just around 144 at the moment. So that's implying a stronger economy. You know, as I said quite a couple of months ago, or a month or two ago, you know, this 4% economy is a kind of a different ball game. It's obvious that a lot of stocks have strengthened. The results have been spectacular. You know, one of the highest quarterly results ever, and the numbers, the outperforming has been extraordinary, you know, kind of epic actually. And we're starting to pick up again here, probably off a better bottom. We've kind of put in a double bottom on the NASDAQ off this morning's test. So it's potentially got a better traction now to go higher. Obviously, if the NASDAQ gets, if any of these things get back to zero or positive today, these indices, I think you're going to see some pretty strong follow through, at least until tomorrow, perhaps, and maybe into the end of the week. So, you know, I think there's probably going to rally into the employment. The employment, you know, kind of tempered my expectations. You know, usually with a 4% economy, you should be getting about a 400,000 job creation. But I think this, because the economy is so tight, the job market's so tight, they may just not be able to fill all the spaces. So it's quite possible in a 4% market, in economy, you know, might only be, could be 150,000, could be 200,000, could be 250,000. Obviously, anything north of 200 is a pretty good number, and if it's north of 300 or 400, that's going to be spectacular. So, and interestingly, the unemployment claims have been very subdued. There's been no spikes, no upward spikes for quite a while. Been hitting new record lows effectively when you take into population growth and everything. So the situation is, look, you know, the average guy, probably 99% of these politicians, you know, they can criticize Trump all day long, but what he's actually done, and he started using, you know, a more correct number, which is about 10 trillion increase in stock prices since the election. As you know, we did a different math a while back, threw in the real estate gains about 2 trillion, sorry, and the cryptos are, you know, close to 1 trillion, maybe something like that. So it's certainly a 12 trillion economy. It could be even a 13 trillion economy. Remember, the economy itself is now growing at 20.5 trillion. What he's actually pulled off here, you know, considering it was only growing at about 17.5 trillion when he took over, is absolutely incredible. And to add all this incredible trillions of wealth, 10, 12 trillion, and maybe 15 trillion if you throw in the actual economy gains as well, in pretty in about 1 3/4 years. It's really it's totally unprecedented. There's never been anything like it. And the there's about, we've mentioned this before, there's about 20 or 30 currencies around the world that have been decimated against the dollar. I think the dollar is definitely topping out right now. It came back and tested a little bit higher. I think we said it might rally a bit last week, got up to about 95,600 this morning. It suddenly broke. The metals are starting to rebound. This is a potential key reversal today or in the next couple of days. The grains, I believe, have bottomed, and they came down this morning, tested, and immediately leapt higher with some real strength we haven't seen in quite a while. And I think that's a fairly good sign that the grains have actually bottomed here, and they got quite a good chart developing. So I think the commodities indexes are all bottoming right about now, and that should lift the metals here in the next few days. The VIXs did pop a little bit this morning. Again, they're coming off again as the market rebounds. I think we got to watch the VIXs very carefully, because remember last week they really didn't break down. They were holding their own for most of the week, and even though the market was going higher, and we did get the correction, and we got a bit of a pop on Friday, and which we sold really more or less at the highs, and we had an outside day on the VIX on Friday. Sorry, outside week on the VIX. So that's usually a very reliable indicator that we're potentially close to a major turning point. I think if the VIX gets down to about 28.5, the VXX, you want to take a shot at buying it there, because that's sort of the mid-range of the outside week. That's usually is where the thing comes back to. Or if we start making new highs on the VIXs, we probably want to be long. So I think the VIX has gotten to a point where the risk-reward ratio is probably pretty good. There's still some, in case of a runaway market to the upside, obviously the VIX could come down and make a double bottom. Right now there's a lot of divergence going on between the VIXs, which could imply that there's a major bottom at hand. So, and we're probably going to get a lot more volatility, which we're already seeing today. So look, if the dollar does break down, it can only help everywhere. It's going to help all these current currencies that have been decimated sort of get some value back into them, and it's going to help the European markets are already rallying today. The British pound did a sort of a retest today, got down to about close to 128. Remember, we got down to about 127, year 2027, the last bottom. So this looks like a retest, and it looks like the currencies are going to work their way higher now. So, but I think the gold needs to be watched very carefully. It may be gold's time to shine this month. The palladium is astonishing again. It's gone to a new high today after pulling back during the night quite sharply, but it's rebounded pretty dramatically. It just went positive a minute ago after being down about 25 or something. So that's an incredible performance, and it's potentially a leader for the gold. The platinum is probably bottomed. It put in one of its favorite type of bottoms this morning. This is about the third bottom we've seen in platinum that resulted in about a 50 plus rally, 50 point plus rally. So this one looks pretty good from around these levels. You can't rule out a bit of a retest here, because if we don't reverse completely upwards today, there's always a risk that it might take another few days before the actual real bottom comes in on the metals. But I think we're pretty close right now. And actually, I think the metals may get in sync with the markets if the markets start to go higher again from here. We did okay with the crude and the products. We actually said to go long
What was that
last
move
week.
today that came out of nowhere? What was
I think it was that hurricane, you know, the threat of a hurricane, because, you know, everybody was probably half asleep over the weekend. And, you know, normally if there's this hurricane kind of formed, you know, there wasn't much warning about it. It just kind of formed out of nowhere. So people thought, you know, there might be some rigs shutting down, but I think it's a storm in a teacup, because the rally this morning just got hit. You know, we sold it up near the top, and had an order to sell any new lows as well. So it's actually reversed quite sharply. And now that the Labor Day holiday is over, you know, the demand for gasoline is probably going to go down quite a bit. So I'd say this is, we may have seen the top in the crude for a while, unless there's some more hurricanes. And
when's
you know,
season over?
30th of November.
Okay.
So we got a while to run yet. So there were a couple of interesting things over the weekend. A friend of our family at one stage stood to make $1.6 million yesterday, but he didn't quite pull it off. He was leading the PGA Golf, and unfortunately,
You got a friend in the PGA?
yeah, he kind of crumbled towards the close, unfortunately. But it was quite interesting seeing him perform. And the other thing is Lewis Hamilton won the Italian Grand Prix, which is one of the most incredible races he's ever driven. He did, you know, he started from the second row, and he managed to pull ahead. He had a little bit of a hit with his arch rival Vettel, knocked him back a few points, but he managed to pull off a spectacular race. And you know, it's interesting. This is what's amazing about Mercedes. Is a week ago, you know, the last race a week ago, his comment was, you know, that Mercedes passed him like he wasn't even there. So they really had a very fast car. And you have to ask, you know, the outlook didn't look very good for him, you know, in getting to the front. And yet they did something to that car, you know, in the week to make it perform as well as it did yesterday, which is just, it's absolutely staggering when you think they can do that. Because, you know, you're up against Ferrari, you're up against the best in the world, and these guys, you know, these fellas at Ferrari, they know how to make cars go fast, and they, you know, they sort of hit their tune a week ago, and then suddenly they didn't have it anymore. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the next, you know, the remaining few races are going to play out towards the end of the year, because as long as Hamilton doesn't screw up, he's going to win. He's going to win another championship.
Huh. Hamilton, yeah. Now that's the guy, one of the highest paid athletes in the world we talked about.
Yeah, he deserves it. You know, the guy is he is the greatest driver ever. I mean, you know, Schumacher is still quite a league ahead of him, but you know, he's winning so many. He's almost up to the same number of podiums as Schumacher now. He's ahead of Schumacher in the poles, in actual pole positions. He's the world record holder in poles. And you know, if he wins another, I mean, he only has to win another 15 races or so, and I think it is maybe a bit more, maybe, I'm not sure it's 25 or 15, but then he's all-time champion, and he's done it in far less. He's done it, you know, Schumacher did 300 plus races to get to where he was. Hamilton's sort of on his tail after only doing 200, you know, a little bit north of 200. I think he's done 210 or 220. So his win to race ratio is beyond anybody. You know, it's way ahead of everybody in history, except possibly a few guys who might have only raced, you know, 20 or 30 races. But in terms of, you know, win to race ratio, you know, of 100 plus races, he's absolutely the clear leader without any doubt. and he's still pretty young. He's still if he races another 5 years, and if he goes, he probably in 2 years, if he races at this level for the next 2 years, he's going to be the overall champion without any doubt of all time.
So this new, what was it that happened over the weekend with, was it Nike that endorsed the guy that takes a knee, or what was it?
Yeah, it's kind of out of the, what's the good? They knocked the stock down $2 on that news this morning. They looks like they're going to use this Colin Kaepernick guy for some sort of an ad campaign, for their Just Do It campaign.
Yeah, of all the people they could choose, I'm guessing that's probably not the best choice.
No, why choose him? Why don't they choose somebody like Hamilton? Who's a proven, who's earned his stripes. Or it's listen, they probably did it for attention.
Did it for attention? Now, on whose part?
Well, just the whole thing, to create a kind of a buzz, because maybe people are going to be looking to see how this campaign unfolds, and it probably would attract a lot of viewership. And remember, a lot of the people who a lot of Kaepernick fans are people who buy Nike gear, so they're obviously given a lot of thought to it.
Well,
I mean, it's crazy. You got this guy, Kanye West, who's selling shoes for $500 to $1,000. These new range of gear he's selling at premium prices is nothing short of staggering. But there's a cult following for these things, and maybe Nike is trying to muscle in on that market.
Who in their right mind spends that much money for shoes?
I don't know. But
apparently plenty of people do, right?
Well, it's been going on for decades, because it's always been the sort of status symbol to have, some sneakers, the coolest sneakers and this sort of thing. It's a big deal, with the kids. They want to one up each other, and there's a lot to it.
So what's next for Amazon?
Well, right now they're a juggernaut, unstoppable. You get to 2,500, they're probably gonna, upgrade the stock further, because you don't know what this guy's gonna do next. He's probably gonna move in on the banking side of things more. Who knows? He may. He's looking at everything to disrupt. Maybe he's going to move in on. I mean, why wouldn't they move in on this? Very lucrative bookings.com. Priceline, all that market. That's a very lucrative market, and they've got the audience. They've got the brand name to move in on that space.
Now, what happened to their planned move, or the rumored move, into
they haven't decided yet. Oh, yeah, I think they're doing that because they bought this this pill pack thing. It's a thing where they pack the pills for the people to take. Basis of, if they're taking 3 or 4 pills, they pack them, and with a time to take them and all that sort of thing. It's quite a clever idea, but it's.
I don't know. Have you ever ordered anything from Amazon?
Yeah.
Were you maybe a little surprised by the packaging that it arrived in?
You know what? I didn't give much. I didn't give much thought to it. Why?
Well, because, as you know, we get a lot of packages because of my wife and the reviews, and sometimes Amazon, well, quite often, Amazon will send us a package that a large package, a large box, and 90% of that box is empty. It's those little plastic air-filled bags. You know what I'm talking about? Those shipping bags. Now, Jeff may be a very wealthy man, the wealthiest man in the world, and he may have the wealthiest company, but I think he's a little bit of a spendthrift. And I'm curious, if he knew this was going on, I think he would put a stop to it. I really do. I mean,
you think they're overdoing it on the packaging?
The last business that, you know, that I owned before was very shipping intensive. We would send out anywhere from 100 to 250, 300 packages a day. Most everything was sent priority mail. He uses his own delivery force now, I guess, or he's trying to get it that way. But the issue is, if you use this, why use this huge box to send this small item? We see it again and again. There was this long box came the other day. You could have put a fishing pole in it, and I think there was, like, I don't know, a piece of jewelry rattling around in there amongst the, I mean, for a company that seems to just get everything right, do everything right, you know, at the right moment, at the right time, all of that, something so obvious and so simple. Where do you think the ball is getting dropped on that?
You know, I'm sure they're allowed to pay more attention to that with the next stuff that we get. But it sounds, you know, I guess you've seen these cases where, you know, maybe it protects the products. You know, maybe it's the packaging. Maybe they're fixated on that.
Well, it's not that the extra packaging is benefiting anyone in any way. It's just people in the shipping department that don't care, don't know any better, and it's unusual to see a company so professional, so well organized, just hemorrhaging money because I don't know how many packages do they ship a day? Any idea?
Oh, it's probably in the millions, you know.
Okay, so I mean, if they could save a dime on every package, but every package isn't like that. Only some of them are. Now, my wife, she ran the shipping department of the last company, and she had a number of employees. It takes a lot of people to push out 300, 350 packages a day. So it really rubs her raw because she was very frugal, and, you know, we used, because with those priority boxes, you pay a flat rate for the box anywhere in the U.S., as much as you can put in it, and she was really, really good at maximizing the dollars we had to spend for shipping. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just an odd thing, because they seem to do everything else picture perfect, almost as if they could do no wrong. I mean, Apple has, you know, I just read an article the other day about all of Apple's blunders and products that didn't make it, and no one seems to remember that stuff. So, you know, Apple's shown that it's human. Google, I don't know.
Yeah. You know, there was a thing I saw, a news clip this morning about the smash and grab runs of these Apple stores, you know, where the people go in and out in 15 seconds or so. You know, they rip off the equipment. And, you know, they were saying that maybe Apple's got some secrets inside those machines that could, you know, potentially catch these guys or render the machines unusable or whatever. Anyway, but it seems to me that a much simpler solution is to just have the entrance door as a revolving door, you know, like you have in a lot of these big buildings. And if they get hit by one of these attacks, they just stop the door and the people are locked in. I mean, it's elementary. It's in fact, it's a solution to bank robberies. I think it would reduce bank robberies to zero if they did that. You know, if all the banks were properly secure, they have an airlock door, you know, where you have to open one, go inside, and then open the other.
Yeah, I've seen those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How expensive are those to install and maintain, do you think?
They're cheaper than getting ripped off, periodically ripped off a lot of gear, you know, I would think.
I mean, does anyone rob banks anymore?
Not really. Not there. There was one. I saw a report of one a few days ago, but it's nothing like the past. But
what was the guy's name? Willie. Was it Willie Sutton, the great bank robber? He was probably. I'm pretty sure it was Willie Sutton. I talked about this the other day here on the show. They asked him, Willie,
why'd you rob banks?
He robbed so many banks over the course of his criminal career. I said, Willie, why are you obsessed with robbing all these banks? And he said, well, that's where the money is. Yeah, I suppose he could have said it's the money, stupid, but they hadn't invented that phrase yet. So anyway,
well, at the moment it looks like we've put in a pretty good test on these markets this morning. That if we do claw our way back from here towards the end of the day and into tomorrow, it's going to probably be a launch pad for a run up to new highs, and we'll see where we go from there. Actually, the energy might be turning here as well. Looks like the energy's correction might.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does look, and you see it's coming right off last week's weekly trading zone there.
Yeah,
zone, up to the zone, back to the zone, and now we're going to try another run. S&P, is it trying the same thing? No, it's got a little more work cut out for it.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I think because it didn't. If it rolls over from here, it'd be very bad.
And if it can't push through here, if it does roll over, then I think everyone knows it will probably head for 82, last week's zone, and then below that, I mean, we're trading 28.91. We've still got 2 weekly trading zones below us from where we sit right now. So
yeah,
if we get there by tomorrow morning,
it looks like if it does roll over from here, you know, might have a much bigger sell-off. The Russell and the mid cap are definitely getting hit harder than the rest of the market today, and the VIXs are kind of looking like they might rally again from here, which might spook the market. So this, you know, it feels a bit different today. This market feels like it's a bit heavier than it's been in a while.
Hey, it felt different yesterday. It felt different Sunday night. Something just wasn't quite clicking.
Yeah.
And I think we had the most consecutive stop outs. I mean, it wasn't astronomical or anything, but we had, and every one of them, it was the market either triggering us in by 1 or 2 ticks, like a head fake, or coming up, you know, a couple ticks short of the target. It's like it just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, and you know, you do have these things that are weighing today, which, you know, Google, FANGs, Facebook, Tesla's in a lot of trouble today too, and the drug stocks as well are getting hit. Some of the recent winners. So
what's Tesla's issue?
Tesla right now is 290, I think. 291. Yeah, it's it got downgraded sort of with a target of 200 or 205 by Goldman Sachs. So That's a pretty, you know, after all the hype over the potential buyout, you know, and
Well, you've mentioned 2 downgrades today. Were there a lot of downgrades that came out today?
I don't know. Those were the ones that stood out: the Facebook and Tesla. The you know, I think the Tesla might be actually, you know, this Tesla's got a way of coming back from the brink, and you know, if it were to surprise, and then you know, at the end of September, in this quarter's earnings and general, you know, use of Facebook, etc. It might, you know, remember they got some incredible stuff. They've got the WhatsApp. You know, they're monetizing WhatsApp. That's WhatsApp.
How are they monetizing WhatsApp?
I don't know yet, but they've got plans to do that. And the you know, the Instagram is a huge so, you know, and look, they beat the last time, whether you know, whether you like it or not, they beat. So if they, you know, if they just beat again, or even if they, you know, they even came in unchanged, the stock might even go higher. And if it gapped higher, you know, if you reverse this 120 billion down gap, and you sort of get a opposite on the upside, would be very, very bullish for the markets. So
here we go. At long last, Facebook turns on WhatsApp monetization. It's now been over a year since Facebook's subsidiary WhatsApp started hiring for a product manager for monetization, which came a few months before the popular messaging service officially launched WhatsApp Business. Social networking titan has been working on a new monetization model for WhatsApp for several years after eliminating the paltry $1 per year subscription fee in 2016, shortly after acquiring the startup. Instead, Facebook wants to monetize WhatsApp and Messenger by helping businesses connect directly with consumers. And it just made a big move in that direction. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't see how anybody could beat Telegram at this messaging business. Telegram is 100% free. There's no ads. They say there'll never be any ads. It'll always be free. And I know people change their mind, but it has everything you could possibly want: phone calls, video calls, channels, groups. I mean, it's like they've thought of, you know, practically everything. And we're having our own private, and it's all open source, and so they tell you right in the user's manual that if you want to create your own Telegram application, that you're more than welcome to use their API and all their source code. If you want to integrate WhatsApp into a web page or into a browser, into some other kind of app that you're building, you're welcome to. So, I mean, that's unusual when someone invites people, hey, come use our code and become our competitor. Interestingly enough, I checked, and there's really only a couple that are publicly, they're called unofficial Telegram clients. So it's like none of the developers, now according to the documentation, they say it's very simple to do. It's not over my head, but I've been plugging away at it, working on it, and you know, when it's ready to launch, we'll launch it. And the question is, well, why? If you already got something that's working, why do you need something else? Yeah, it's just nice to have something with your own brand on it, you know?
Yeah.
And you make no secret that you run off the Telegram backbone. I mean, if it's in your fine print, if anybody asks, you just let them know. But in the App Store, it's got your name on it, not Telegram. So, I mean, it's just, have you used Telegram much?
No, I haven't, no.
The statistics are mind-boggling, and I don't know, I don't remember when it was, but WhatsApp, their servers went offline for 4 hours at some point back, and over 1 million people signed up for Telegram during that 4-hour period. 1 million signups.
What went offline?
WhatsApp was offline for 4 hours for whatever reason. And so all these people who need their messaging clients went over and signed up with Telegram. That doesn't mean they didn't go back to WhatsApp when it came back online, but it showed how huge the market is for these messaging clients. 10 amazing stats and facts. It was released in 2013. It has 200 million users as of 3/22/18. Number of messages sent daily, 15 billion. Average number of messages sent daily per Telegram user, 150. Now that number seemed high. Amount Telegram has spent on advertising, 0. Average number of new weekly signups, 1 million. Daily, 350,000. Number of Telegram users in South Korea, it said 1.71, they struck it out. Maybe they outlawed it. Number of new Telegram users in the 24 hours after Brazil temporarily banned WhatsApp, 5.7 million. Percentage of Telegram users on Android, 85%. Number of languages Telegram is available in, 13. So, Telegram. Yeah, I'm really fond of it. It just works, you know? And it doesn't cross connect with all the other different clients, but I think you can build a bot that will do that for you if you want to talk to people on AOL or Trillio or Yahoo Messenger. That's going away, or has gone away, has it not?
Yeah.
I remember we used that way back. Well, anything else you want to cover today, John?
No, listen, thanks very much for the invite.
Oh, you're welcome, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, all the best.
Take care. Okay, Daniel, you got your email. To everyone else, oh, let me take care of John's mic for him so he can move about the cabin. Now to Ned, you should have just got an email. Alan, you should have just got another email. Here's what happened, guys. I made a list with everyone's name so that let me get John's mic. Okay, he's on mute. Now, I made a list. See, I have this routine that I go through. So I made the list with everyone's name. But first Alan, then Daniel. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? When I went through my routine last night of sending out the weekly zones, guess what? I forgot to scroll way up and tag the new list. My fault. I accept full responsibility. Now, if you were in the Partners Workshop the last week or two, you saw us go through this, but let me go through it for all of you guys, because you just got an email with the zones, and you're seeing something that says count 4, and then you see a string of numbers like this: 29, 13, no, yeah, 29, 13, 29, 14, 28, 93, 28, 94. These are from last week. 28, 81. 880. Alright, 2913, 2914, 2893, 2894, 2881. No. Yeah, 2882. Now, we have an app that comes with our indicator set that puts the zones on the chart for you. What you guys need to do is, if it says count 4, you go 1, 2, 3, 4 slash 1, 2, 3, 4. Enter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, after you do the first two, you just have to come along and put that slash right below. Now, some of them are going to say count 5. Okay? Like the Dow. On the Dow, let me just show you. Instead of 4 numbers, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so it'll say count 5, but it works exactly the same way. 29130 29135. So, and hit enter. So it always tells you the count. It never changes. It's the same week to week. I was going to make a video for you guys and put it in the Telegram channel, and I will still do that. Okay? Okay. And there was one other thing I was working on that I was going to show you guys. Now, is there anybody in the audience who saw what I just did and you still don't understand how to do that? If so, let me know and I'll go through it again real quick. Or if you have any other question. Okay, we talked about the Dow creeping back up. And so now you got to ask yourself, if the Dow's creeping up, or the S&P looked like it could roll over, still hanging. See, the Dow's climbing and the S&P is just kind of sitting there. So I think our best idea for the Dow right now, start yourself a little trend line. So for everyone that I was just talking to about those numbers, now that it's been publicly revealed that I messed up and didn't send them, I'm pretty sure next week I'll remember. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm going to try really hard. I'll make some notes. That's what I'll do. Alright, on the Concierge trade alerts last night, consider buying 2908. We ran up 4 S&P points. If you get the opportunity, sell 2900. First time down, the market made 8 points available. We never get out at swing high or swing low, because if you trail a stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. So back above the trigger, and this moved down 14. On the Dow, consider buying 260.50. Ran up just 20 points. And if you get the chance, consider selling 25955. We dropped 80, and we did not get back above the trigger. On the Russell, consider selling 1736. First drop was $50 a point. Second drop was 15 points at $50 a point. Crude oil, we said to consider buying 70.45, and that ran up $750 per contract. That's what the market made available. Then it pulled back and even went a little bit higher, another $300 after the pullback. Short side, no trigger. Bonds, consider selling 143.22. 7 points, 31.25 per point. Back above the trigger. Important prices, important areas. Down we go 20 ticks, 31.25 per tick. A 1 point move in bonds, 143 to 144. That's $1,000 per contract. Last night's email on gold said to consider selling 1204, and we dropped $800 per contract. Soybeans, consider buying 848. We rallied 3.5 points, $5 per point. And the NQ, consider buying 76.78, $300 rally. Consider selling 76.55 if you get the opportunity. That's a $1,300 per contract drop. And if you did not get an opportunity to take a snapshot of the alerts from last night, I'll drag them back up one more time, and then we'll head into our good word for the day. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box. I'll be happy to try and answer them. So there you go, a snapshot. Got it? Got it. Okay. Now, okay, so Alan, you got it. Okay. Yeah, if one of you guys wants to email me next Sunday night and just go, hey mister, don't forget to send the logic guys the zones. It's just a matter of clicking that list, but I've had the same routine every Sunday for a long time. So if you guys need any help with any of that, you know how to get a hold of me. So do it. Okay. Good word for the day. Where are you? So we've all been called a lot of things in our life. What's in a name? What's in a name? Now this is a 3-part mini-series. Psalm 83:18. That men may know that you, whose name alone is Jehovah, are the most high over all the earth. The Israelites called God Jehovah, a name they regarded as incommunicable and inexplicable. The name means the self-existing one and the I am. And I think I remember something about they weren't allowed to even write it. Don't quote me on that. He was the creator of all things, an awesome and unknowable supreme being. But God desired to be known in a personal way. So he added to the name Jehovah 5 revealing titles, word portraits of himself to help us better understand and relate to him. Israel discovered these word portraits during times of crisis and distress, and they will bless and encourage you during your times of need. So we're going to take a look at each one. I know you've heard them all before. Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will see, the Lord will provide. Abraham was about to sacrifice his son when God provided a lamb for the offering in Isaac's place. In response, Abraham called him Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who sees and provides. And that was the war cry of the prosperity gospel for some time, and possibly still is. Now, it doesn't just apply to Abraham. The New Testament says that the Lord sees your needs and provides answers. Matthew 6:32, Jesus said, "Your heavenly Father already knows all your needs." Like a caring, alert, observant parent who anticipates a child's every need, yes, helicopter mom and dad, I'm speaking to you, God provides well-timed solutions. Before a child's shoes wear out, a good father provides new ones. His child doesn't need to beg or bargain or plead. So you might ask, why don't I have what I want, if that's how this whole thing's supposed to shake out? Because you know what you want, you know what you think you need, but God has a unique vantage point. He can see over the hill and around the corner. No matter what you and I think, God knows what we really need. Hey, there's even a country western song. One of God's greatest gifts is unanswered prayers. There you go. God knows what you really need. What you see as needs might simply be wants in God's eyes. So remember, Jehovah Jireh, He sees your needs and will provide for them. That's a promise from the book. And we'll cover all the other names of God over the next couple days. And that's going to do it for this Tuesday, post-Labor Day edition. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, and wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.